Alright guys, we're back here, BPP Garage and Racing Channel. It's the morning after we made our second test hits, and there's a few things I want to talk about. So I just went over the film of our 4 hits, the two 60-foots and then the two full pulls. And basically, after looking at a few things, suspension and then the takeoff, what I realized was, number one, I took too much power out of the car. It wasn't leaving nearly as good as it was the night before when we went and tested, even though I was spinning the night before. The tune-up I put in the car really wasn't good. I pulled too much timing out down low, and it was just leaving. It was leaving too soft on 60 foot. Now, granted, it wasn't spinning anymore, but it was still leaving too soft at 60 foot to be competitive in a quarter or eighth mile. There's just not enough track there to catch back up. The car is eating in the middle half. Once it hits the 330 mark, maybe even before that, it starts eating. It eats up the middle and the back half of the track. Once they get traction, it's over with. It eats. But that car does not want to hook for anything. And, part of the problem is, I don't know, I probably haven't talked about it, but we're running just some regular street tires. I'm not talking about not even a radial, drag radial, just some regular driving around street tires. And that's not good at all to be doing what we're doing, but that's what we got at the moment. Just like a lot of you might have at the moment. You want to do stuff like this. So, problem I'm having is getting this car to hook out the gate. It will not hook for anything. So after watching the video and I made my initial adjustments on the tune, I got a couple of new ideas that I want to do. And what I think I'm going to end up going with is I'm going to put some timing back in the car at the low end. And then we're going to try to ballast this thing a little bit and put some weight in the back. Maybe, I don't know exactly how much yet, but we're going to try to offset the weight and bring the center of gravity back a little bit. I'm going to put it as far back towards the ass end of the car as I can. So hopefully we'll transfer the weight a little bit better on the initial hit and actually be able to grab some traction. At least that's my thought, because right now we can't get nothing out to 60. It's just, I can't put any power down on the 60 without, off the hit, as soon as I try to put it down, it just spins all over the place. So we need to find a remedy for that, and pulling the timing out, it worked. It kept the tires planted, but there was just not enough power. So the problem with that car is it kind of nosedives towards the front, and right now there's not adjustable shocks, and my front springs are kind of worn. They're stock. The front suspension's stock minus the shocks. And the shocks aren't adjustable shocks. They're not racing shocks or anything like that. They're just the police package Caprice shocks, which are much better than the standard ones, but they're not drag racing shocks really. So front of that car has virtually stock front suspension. So I can't really make too many adjustments to there. What I can make my adjustments is out back. So, like I said, what I'm going to try to do is ballast the car a little bit, put some weight in the trunk, try to change the center of gravity on launch. So hopefully we can get some traction out back and I can actually put some power down. That's going to be the plan going forward. And really I just need to get some new tires that we can actually get some traction on. But that's not in the books right now. So we're going to work with what we got, just like a lot of you guys got to do, and we're going to make it work. And then when we get some new tires, then we'll put a new tune in it, and we can figure out where we launch from there. But for now, we got to get this and dial it in the best as we can to try to be competitive off the mark, because the car is eating in the front half, or not the front, but the back half of the track and the middle of the track, and I can't hook it all on the 60s. So until we cure that problem, this thing's going to be pretty uncompetitive on the street. There's just not enough space to catch back up. So that's where we're at with things. And going forward, we're going to keep testing. I'm going to make these changes, and then we're going to go out and see what it does then. And, I don't have a great baseline for this. This is only the third night we went out and tested on this setup and things. So I'm trying to figure it out. And this is what you got to do to get the car dialed in with what you got. I could go out and spend a bunch of money on parts and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to be able to go out and test and optimize your combination, no matter how much money you spent on it. To get out of it what you put in, you have to be able to go out and test it and make changes. Because if you have a ton of money in a motor especially, but you don't get anything out of it because you're not tuning on it, it doesn't really matter. There's a ton of guys who have very low budgets that run real fast, and it's because they're out there and they optimize their combos. They know their car inside and out, and that's what's important, and that's what we're trying to do and figure out with this car. It's not a great combo right now. It's going to get better, but right now we got to optimize what we got. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to be doing going forward here. So stay with us. I know the car looks slow now, and it is, but it's going to keep getting better and better. We're going to keep figuring it out. There's a whole lot of room to grow with it. So just stay with us and keep following, because there's plenty more to come. Pontiac problems update. So we came back over here, about to dig into this. Problem we had is we got the new brake lines on. I went to bleed them, and we popped another one. So now I get to run all new brake lines on this thing, which I'm not looking forward to in any way, shape, or form. So we're about to tear into this. I got to get all this shit back out to get to the ABS module down there so I can get the lines out, go to the rear that I need off, and then we're going to figure it out from there. Finally got this car back on the ground. All new brake lines. None of them are leaking anymore. Should be good to go. We're going to throw some new pads on it tomorrow, and hopefully no other brake lines will pop, because I might fucking pop. Shit. I've done a lot of brake jobs before. This shit was fucking ridiculous. Every line rusted. Every fitting stud. Every time you go to bleed it, more lines pop. What a nightmare. That's a wrap.